Do you ever wake up in the morning feeling pretty good, only to have the happiness rug pulled out from under you? Well, you're not alone. Unfortunately, this is a daily occurrence for many. Hi, I'm Dr. Margaret Cochran, and this is Wisdom, Love, and Magic. We live in a world filled with so-called toxic positivity. What is that exactly? Well, it's basically a process of being bombarded with strategically placed social media posts and ads that demonstrate how happy your life is supposed to look if only you were living it correctly. And if you don't measure up, of course, you failed. And toxic positivity is also a world filled with shoulds. Or said another way, to be happy, you should do this and you shouldn't do that. Shoulds, must, oughts, and supposed tos are shame words. They imply that there's some right way to do things, and if you aren't doing it that way, well, you failed. So let's take a look-see at how it all works, shall we? You get out of bed, maybe make yourself a hot beverage, and then start to check your Facebook page, Instagram feed, or some such. Big mistake. But you did it, and you did it because you've been conditioned to have a desperate sense of FOMO, or fear of missing out. And what did you see? Someone's beautiful wedding photos, and you quickly move from awe to thinking, wow, I don't think I was that happy on my day. Next come the graduation photos, and you go from, isn't that nice? And then suddenly it's, gosh, the neighbor's kids are going to an Ivy League school. They did a better job with their kids. They set them up to be happier and wealthier than I did. And finally, your cousin's father-in-law's trip to Fiji. First you're wondering, how did that post get in there? And then you think to yourself, wow, I've never been to Fiji. And I'll probably never go to Fiji because I can't afford to go. Everybody's wealthier than I am and has more fun than I do. Do you really want to go to Fiji? Probably not. Actually, there are some other things you'd really rather do, like go visit your sister in Philadelphia. But then other people probably wouldn't think that was very sexy and exotic. So bottom line is, you failed, failed, failed. You didn't get married and look happy enough. Your kids aren't going to Harvard. You aren't enjoying an exotic vacation. You aren't even going to Philadelphia. Where you are right now is at home, and what you're actually doing is drinking your morning coffee and doing laundry. And all that reminds you of the many other ways you're sure that you've been failing yourself and everyone around you. What about all the important decisions about drafting a will and organizing your finances you've been avoiding? And the pain you've gone through about one thing or another that you don't want to face because you're sure if you do, it'll eat you up and spit you out and then continue on unabated forever. And just to put the cherry on the sundae, you begin to wonder if you even know who you are and what you want out of life anymore. And that won't make a shiny Facebook post for sure. Everybody else is doing everything right but you. So the day has just begun and you're already officially drowning in guilt, shame, and worry. Guilt, shame, and worry sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? But it's not. It's actually the name of the emotional mafia. When you're living in guilt, shame, and worry, you're emotionally kidnapped and held hostage by invisible, made-up, and unrealistic standards. And under those circumstances, contentment and joy are not now in and will forever be beyond your grasp. However, in truth, life is not really a bunch of curated, heavily filtered, exciting adventures, and it's not a series of shoulds or shouldn'ts either. It's actually a series of moments. And in those moments, things happen that can feel good and things happen that don't. Self-judgment and recriminations based on a set of false standards and deceptive images is no kind of life. It's actually a prison sentence. Literally a life without possibility of parole sort of prison sentence. So what if you went out? Well, the escape from this prison begins when you decide to stop worshiping at the altar of other people's projected images and learn how to think for and love yourself. But TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc., 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 aren't they the real world? Nope, that's the lie you've been taught to tell yourself to serve the agenda of others who want to sell you things and get elected. All right, I get it. Jail, not good. So what do I have to do? Well, I know you're probably sick of hearing me say this, but the best way to begin living a happy life is by limiting your exposure to the news and social media. And for heaven's sake, despite their predictable protests, insist on the same for your children. Give your kids a fighting chance to be themselves before someone else tries to tell them what they should look like and be like. Don't let them be taught what to think before they learn how to think. Practicing mindfulness and compassion is also very important. Grace, acceptance, and empathy must begin at home, so to speak. The Hawaiian indigenous culture has a beautiful and powerful practice called Ho'oponopono. It consists of 4 phrases: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Close your eyes and say that 4 times, at least once a day. Another extremely powerful way to engage in this practice is to say these words while looking at your reflection in a mirror. Do it, but I warn you, it's very powerful, evocative, and will elicit change. Next, a gratitude practice, another thing you've probably heard me talk about before. Spend a little time reviewing everything in your life that you're grateful for, and it's best done twice a day, like brushing your teeth. Once in the morning, once at night. You can even do them simultaneously. Brushing your teeth keeps them clean and free from destructive bacteria that cause tooth decay, and gratitude keeps your mind clean and free from destructive thoughts that cause mental decay. And trust me, neither kind of decay is good, and both make more work to fix than prevent. It may be challenging at first, but if you stay with it, you'll find it gets easier and easier, and each day you'll feel better and better. And the next technique for ending your emotional incarceration is to take action in your life. If you're unhappy, do something about it. Stop making up scary stories about how your life will be ruined if you face whatever, and just do it. Don't give in and give up. Move ahead, no matter how tiny the steps might be. And if you're too scared to move forward or don't know what to do, please get help from a qualified licensed professional. While psychotherapy is about treating depression, schizophrenia, and other forms of mental illness, it's much more than that. It's about self-discovery, support, and guided change as well. And now, one of my favorite ways to be and stay happy is, as I said earlier, by not comparing yourself to others. When you view the lives of others, no matter what things may look like on the outside, you've got no real idea what's going on underneath. And as the old saying goes, don't wish for someone else's karma. Next up, remove the words should, must, ought, and supposed to from your vocabulary, and replace them with want, need, desire, and demand. Shame is not motivating. For example, if you say you should do your laundry, you won't. If you say I need to do my laundry, you will. The old scree about floggings will continue until morale improves, no. Remorse is useful, but shame never has and never will work for anyone, anytime, ever. To be happy, it is imperative that you address and resolve any pain you suffer from, be it emotional or physical. You can't be happy if you're in pain. If you've undergone physical injury and or trauma of any sort, or are struggling with mental illness of any kind, please get help. Don't shame yourself for hurting. No shoulds, remember? Get help from the appropriate qualified professional and start your healing process. You can feel better and be happy with some skilled support and guidance. And finally, spend some quality time with you. Yes, I know you've convinced yourself you can't, but you can. Not making time for you keeps you stuck in pain and frustration. Other people in your life, your boss, spouse, your kids, your friends, they all may be convinced that whatever they need from you is earth-shattering and that you have to attend to it at once. And sometimes that's true, but in all honesty, mostly not. You have to create boundaries. No one is going to make time for you but you. And if you don't, sadly, one day, much sooner than needs be, there will be no you left. So please take care of yourself, because whether you understand it right now or not, you are of vital importance to this world. You help give the lives of others meaning in ways you might not be able to imagine or even understand at this moment in time. However, know that you are valued and we need you. So how about it? Why not start the process of being and staying happy and content? Let's tear down any prisons that restrict your happiness. And let's start right now. Until next time, I'm Dr. Margaret Cochran. Be safe and be well.